I somehow messed up. All my notes are gone. Every single note for every single hockey game or every Habs game this year. Thankfully, I haven't taken notes on every single game this year. My best friend actually helped me out a little, and um, she sent me the notes for this game. She sent me all the notes, not notes, all the play-by-play for this game, so I knew what to do. First comment, first like, line bot, yes indeed. Mr. Canadian, feels good to win. It does. Hi there. How's it going, brother? But it does indeed feel good to win. And spoiler, if you read the title or are joining, the Canadiens won in Washington tonight. The Canadiens win their first in 6 games. This is their first win technically in 5. If you want to count the 5-game losing streak as first win in 6 games. Of course, as always, I go off for the first time in forever, the Canadiens doing a game. Oh, Captain Canada! Hey, how's it going, brother? How's it going, Captain Canada? Mr. Canadian, I like that. I like that name. You should keep it, I think. Unless you do want to change it, then that's perfectly fine. But I like it. I like any name you have. It seems. Of course, if you're new here, I go the stats on the board, and then I do the actual recap. This is going to be very, very nerve-wracking, but then again, that's the point in being, I'm not a journalist. I guess a reporter in a way, a recapper. Sometimes you have errors like this, and you gotta go off the cuff, and you gotta say what you remember in the game. Good game, James. I agree, brother. We play your Sens on Saturday. Stats on the board. Tomas Tatar still leads the team now. 20 goals, 35 assists for 55 points. Philippe Deneau, 12 goals, 29 assists, 41 points. Nick Suzuki, 13 goals, 27 assists, 40 points. GG Habs indeed, linebot. Brendan Gallagher, who apparently just now got his 20th goal tonight, spoiler. 20 assists for 40 points. Hey, James Berry, how's it going, brother? Max Domi, 15 goals, 13 assists, 28 points. Arturi Lehkonen, 12 goals, 13 assists, 25 points. Interesting to note, right off the bat, he was a healthy scratch tonight. I know that my second favorite team, Leafs won tonight as well. Shout out the Penguins 4-0, which great way to bounce back after that embarrassing loss. Tuesday, I think. Nick Cousins, 9 goals, 13 assists, 22 points. Ilya Kovalchuk, 9 goals, 12 assists, 21 points. Ben Chiarot, 9 goals, 11 assists for 20 points. Gotta sleep soon. Hey, Mr. Canadian, no worries. Hopefully you can check out the rest of the stream tomorrow. Jonathan Drouin, 7 goals, 8 assists, 15 points. Interesting to note, he does not have a single point since he's come back from his injury. My team lost tonight. James, sorry to hear that, brother. Nate Thompson, 4 goals, 10 assists, 14 points. Sorry, I can't math. Jordan Wheel, 6 goals, 5 assists, 11 points. Victor Mete with 4 goals, 7 assists, 11 points. He is sadly injured right now. Jesper Kotkaniemi, who was in the minors, 6 goals, 2 assists, 8 points. Brent Kulak with 6 assists. Paul Byron, 1 goal, 4 assists, 5 points. Dale Weiss, 1 goal, 3 assists, 4 points. Christian Foley and Ryan Paling, both with a goal and an assist for 2 points. Xavier Ouellette with 2 assists. Actually, I forgot to mark him. My apologies, but you can't really tell, but that is supposed to be a green smudge or green star. Ouellette did get injured tonight very early on. You think Toronto will win the playoff? I think they'll get in the playoffs for sure. I'm not sleeping now, Lamel. I'm staying up. Oh, your girlfriend's coming over soon. Mr. Canadian? Have fun. And I'm glad you're staying here for a little bit, sticking around. Cale Fleury and Charles Hudon each with an assist, and Jake Evans with a goal. Record is now 28, 27, and 8, 64 points. So if we lose our next game, I'm going to watch the stream, Mr. Canadian. Appreciate it, brother. If we lose our next game, we will be 28, 28, and 8. Canadians will probably lose. Last game was obviously this one, Canadians 4, Capitals 3. I should have put in OT, but that's something wrong. Power play and penalty kill, we are 32 for 164 on the power play and 150 for 187 on the penalty kill. Home record is still a very, very bad 13, 15, and 5. And away record is a pretty good 15, 12, and 3. So, of course, those are the stats for the game. Or not the stats for the game. Those are the Canadian stats. Now to the actual game. This is weird because I actually have to go off sites rather than just straight up my own analysis because, like I said, I sadly somehow lost my notes. The file was corrupted. You know what? Real quick, one final time, I'm going to look at it. Habs regular season stats. Hope not, because I don't like when my videos lag. or my streams, I should say. It might just lag because I was on a different site. So I'm going to get into the actual game technically right now, and keeping him on the third line to move Duran up was an interesting choice. Personally, I would try out Byron Suzuki and Armia on the second line, or even Byron Suzuki and Kovalchuk, and then have a third line of Duran, Domi, and Armia, since those guys seem to really work well. But other than that, I really have no issues with the forward lineup. Wheel, Thompson, Cousins, of course, those guys are not interchangeable. Those guys played really, really well tonight. I do want to get that out of the way. Do you think trade player on Monday? Yeah, I think Montreal and Ottawa are absolutely sellers on Monday. And I'm actually thinking of going up on Monday. It's just that Hot Take Hockey, who love Hot Take Hockey, if you guys don't know him, Off the Wall Hockey, who I believe has come to the stream a few times, introduced me to Hot Take Hockey. He's a great YouTuber, one of the best. I am officially now number 3. Now that I know of Hot Take Hockey, he's great. Go check him out. Please go check him out. He's a great YouTuber. He is apparently going to be streaming for the trade line all day, so I might just watch him. Who knows? I might have my headphones on, listen to him, talk with the chat, and have my stream going, and along with Twitter for Pierre LeBrun, Bob McKenzie, and all of them. It's going to be hectic for sure. And Ouellette Foligno with Mete out. Foligno steps up into that role, and it seems we're going to have to call someone else up. You might see the green star next to whoever that third pairing defenseman might have been that got injured tonight. And of course, Carey Price was in net tonight. So early on, one of the worst, in my opinion, just because I don't have any notes, sadly. Okay, so I'm doing a Brampton Beast expansion franchise mode doing the draft. Doing the expansion draft, some solid defensive pairing, a solid defenseman with some term to him. But personally, I would go with Armia. He has 28 points right now in the season. He still has time to improve, in my opinion. So out of those 3 guys, I would absolutely choose Armia. Unless somehow Carey Price is available, choose him because Montreal needs that cap space. But Armia is the guy that I would choose for the expansion draft. The Canadiens and the Caps are really going back and forth early on. Ouellette got taken out. Was a hit which took him out of the game. So the Canadiens had to juggle pretty much 4 defensemen because they actually didn't give Weber too much time. Despite all the stuff he does on the ice, the Canadiens did not let up with Weber, thankfully. I'm glad because our season is over, so really no use in ship. Amen, brother. Thank you, Jesse. You're welcome, Linebot, as well. But honestly, I do think that with Weber sort of still being hurt, I'm glad they only decided he's out because obviously Ouellette was hurt and he was taken out of the game, and Weber obviously just starting to return from his injury because he's a machine. Yeah, and then is right here. Trade me, Jamesbury. I would love to trade you. No, but I want to say it was here. That was Domi. Domi was really robbed on a breakaway. He had a nice chance on the break, like I said. Sadly, however, he was not able to put it in the back of the net. Goes down the other way, and obviously it stops. But right off the face-off, Backstrom wins it to Ovi, who scores his 699th goal. Congratulations to Alex Ovechkin. I honestly was hoping he would score his 700th tonight. Sadly, he didn't. But yeah. Congrats to Ovi for 699. Here's hoping next game he gets 700. And yeah. Drouin then took a penalty. It was a really, really badly timed penalty, in my opinion. Drouin, he tripped Oshie, bad one for him to take. And then the Canadiens played very, very well. Not shorthanded, but right out of the box, gets a good chance on the wraparound. I have no clue how that didn't go in. Drouin almost had his first point of the season since coming back. His 16th of the season, first since coming back, I should say. But sadly, they didn't get the goal with Drouin tonight. So, yeah. And then the Canadiens were playing very, very well. The Canadiens kept giving up the puck a little bit, but also taking away the puck quite a bit. They were playing quite well defensively, in my opinion. The shots were definitely favoring Washington, though, early on, which was surprising given how well the Canadiens were playing, in my opinion. And with just over 2 minutes left in the period, Shea Weber surprisingly would tie the game up for his 14th of the season. The lone assist going to Philip Deneau for his 29th of the year. And it's a tie hockey game heading into the first period. It's this. Damn it! It doesn't even tell me the shots. The shots were 9-7 in the first period for in the first for the Capitals. You guys beat the Caps. Tomorrow I'm going to start collecting Oilers hats from kids and hang them above my... Oh, lids. I was like, don't start collecting Oilers hats from kids, Spotlight. From lids and hang them above my bedboard. Yeah, collect them from lids, not kids. I'm pretty sure it's illegal in a couple states. But yeah, we somehow beat the Capitals. Of course, not without some technical difficulties, sadly, but yeah. So early on, very, very early on, like 37 seconds into the second period, actually, Alex Ovechkin took a cross-checking penalty. It looked like Carlson cross-checked. I believe it was Drouin, but they called Ovi instead for cross-checking Deneau. Very, very strange. Very, very good play by the Canadiens, in my opinion. They did well trying to get a goal. They had a couple good chances on the power play, but they were not sadly able to convert it into a goal. So they went 0 for 1 on the power play. Wait, did I mess that up? I don't think I did. I hope I didn't mess it up. Did you hear? Yes, I did hear about the Alex Martinez trade to Vegas. I am very excited as well. We traded for Ennis. No, wait, that just... But if I look up NHL trades, this is going to fall very, very soon. But I did hear about the Alex Martinez trade. I'm very, very excited for it also as a Vegas fan. I think he can definitely add to the blue line, in my opinion. I definitely think that Alex Martinez it definitely could be interesting. Definitely could be interesting, especially to see what those second rounders could become. And as of right now, this is a win for Vegas, especially if Vegas do go very, very far in the playoffs, considering they got screwed out of the second round last year by the Sharks and Fs. But I definitely do think if the Knights go for trade for Ennis, just prank you, well, still wouldn't mean the Oilers have any depth. They still literally have no depth at all. They will go far. I do think they will as well, and I'm glad we both agree. So yeah, the Canadiens played very, very well. They're really dominating this period, in my opinion. The Canadiens were getting a ton of shots on net. I believe at one point the shot period, I want to say it was about 8 minutes in, but the shots were 10-1 for the Canadiens as well. So they were definitely dominating the second period. They just couldn't get a goal in on Holtby, which was very, very surprising, considering Samsonov is supposed to be their goalie right now. I don't think, and I know I'm probably going to get asked this in chat, but I don't think Holtby will get traded. I think he is going to stick with them till the deadline. At the very most, maybe, for example, I could see them trading his rights, even though he's a UFA, to a team, say, at the deadline for, let's just say, a second rounder, because that's probably all they could get by the draft. It's like, hey, you want to go here? They'll renegotiate your rights. We just want to get something for you, and Holtby being like, yeah, sure, I'll go to Edmonton or whatever, even though he wouldn't go to. They wait until free agency. That's the thing Line bought. The Capitals can't sign Holtby. They made their mind up once they signed Backstrom. It was Backstrom over Holtby, which is interesting considering Backstrom is 34 and they signed him until he's 39 at 5.5 a year. It's very risky. I personally would have wanted 2 years, or I personally would have gone 2 years, but the deal was the term, not the money. So Backstrom playing his own agent right there, brilliant for him to do that. Glad he got what he wanted, but it definitely could be a big risk for the Capitals. But yeah, like I said, the Canadiens were dominating in the shots around 10 minutes in. That's when it kind of seemed like it was starting to shift a little bit, even though the Canadiens were definitely more on the puck. And I'm just looking at my notes now. Poor Brent Kulak. He got hit 3 times in the span of just about 30 seconds. Okay, so here's how everything will go. I will start getting Oilers hats. Oilers will be my first time. I don't know what first time you're talking about. Then if my Oilers don't go in playoffs, I will cheer for my second team Avs if the Avs get in the playoffs. Avs are absolutely getting in the playoffs, so I might as well start cheering more for the Avs right now. Spotlight. The second period, but really against the flow of the play, the Oilers, Jesus, the Capitals started getting 2 more shots. And that's a really awful goal out by Price. Eller scores. They say it's a tip in, but really he shot the puck, went up in the air. Price saw it. Eller bats it in. Price just stands there, doesn't do anything. So Eller with his 15th, he loves playing the Canadiens. He loves playing his former team. Oh, be my first team. Check out the overtime celebration, especially Kovalchuk. I feel like they all know it is almost impossible to make the playoffs. I did see it. They did celebrate, but you could almost tell they're like, should we really have won this one? And not because they hate playing for the Canadiens, just that it's almost like they know, like, the more we win, the less of a chance we have at getting a Lafreniere or a Byfield. I feel like more so they would need a Lafreniere because Byfield it's not they don't need Byfield. It's just they have so many great centers that they're gonna have to trade some off. Domi, Kovalchuk. Kovalchuk's not a center; he's a fucking right winger. But yeah, and then the Canadiens, when it looks like they're kind of gonna let this one slip away, a minute and 34 after the Eller goal, Brendan Gallagher, he gets his okay, never mind. They changed it. Wow, okay. So Brendan Gallagher's goal is no longer unassisted, actually. So I apologize for accidentally lying to you all. There's now an assist to that goal, actually. There's now an assist to that goal. Brendan Gallagher scores. A really classic Galley goal, honestly. He just but yeah, the Canadiens now, scored. It's a classic Galley goal, and the assist went to Brent Kulak, so he now has 7 assists on the year. The original thing I was looking at showed me that there was no assist, but this one now tells me that Kulak got an assist, so that's very, very interesting. Hockey players don't care about the draft. They probably should. BRB, liar. Only management cares about tanking, which I feel the Habs have too much pride to do that, or any other Canadian team. Well, the Senators definitely don't have pride. The Oilers don't have pride. Canucks definitely have pride more recently. Toronto definitely has pride. Flames have a bit of pride, and Winnipeg, yeah, I guess not really at all. But the Canadiens definitely do have too much pride to really tank, as opposed to just, hey, we're kind of bad, I guess, accidentally, like they were 2 years ago when they got Kotkaniemi. So yeah, that would pretty much do it into the second period. Shots by that point, I believe, were, oh God, I want to say there were 24-21 Canadiens, I think. And then it looks like the early on, actually, funny enough, I missed the first 5 seconds of the third period. I quickly rushed out, and it worked out because 30 seconds in, Ben Chiarot, but I have his 35th on the board. So I don't know. I might have to go look at the stats, say tomorrow or Saturday, and just rewrite all the stats on the board. I don't know. But yeah, so the Canadiens take the 3-2 lead. And in my head, I was thinking, please don't tell me they're going to blow this. Or if they do, please lose in regulation with Ovi getting his 700th goal, because I want us to tank. I do want us to tank, honestly, because we are absolutely losing. We're not making the playoffs, absolutely, so it's best to tank, in my opinion. Only Buffalo discussing shoes their tank method during the McDavid sweepstakes. Edmonton just sucked at their disappointing consecutive seasons. Randy, I don't know if Buffalo did losing. It was necessarily disgusting. They wanted McDavid, sadly ended up with Eichel instead, which is actually better in my opinion. I mean, it's not really disgusting in my opinion. It's just more so, is that necessarily the best thing to do? Because looking at it, you could say the Penguins of the late 2000s, late 90s, early 2000s were kind of purposely tanking to get really good draft picks, like they got with Fleury and Malkin, and of course Crosby was just because of the lockout, so they had to do the thing live with the balls and whatever, the actual lottery. This is my 37 to 40th episode being here, almost 50. Hey, Linebot, appreciate you being here, brother. Buffalo made obvious tank trades during the trade deadline. Yeah, but that's the thing, Yeah, probably hurt their team. But would it have been worth it? Check it out. You know what? Fine. We're gonna look it up. Buffalo 2015 trade deadline. I probably should have looked up Sabres, but all right. Sorry. So 2015. Well, technically, it would have been the 2014 trade deadline. No, 2015, right? Yeah, I think it would have been the 2015. No, 2014, yeah, because it was 15-16 that he got drafted for. Okay, so they traded away Matt Molson and Cody McCormick to Minnesota for Torrey Mitchell and 2 seconds. Wait, no. No, it would have been the 2015 trade deadline. What am I doing? I'm an idiot. Yeah, so the 2015 trade deadline. So the 11th of February, they traded Jonas Enroth to... Wait, no. I don't necessarily know if that's purposeful tanking trades. I don't necessarily know if I would say that, because looking at it in the draft, they even traded a 2015 to get a bottom-feeding goalie to tank. I mean, yeah, sure, they traded Neuwirth, who was their starter, for Chad Johnson, but still, looking at it, was Neuwirth really going to be anything fantastic? This is something coming from a guy who loves Michael Neuwirth. He looks like Haley Steinfeld. He's a pretty decent goalie. I've always liked him. He's helping me win with the Sabres in NHL 15, even though I want them to lose to tank for McDavid, but we traded for the first overall pick. I'm rambling at that point. But I don't know. I mean, yeah, sure, they traded for Johnson, but still, I mean, sometimes you got to do that. I mean, what do you think the Kings and the Devils right now are doing? The Devils, they just traded out Blake Coleman and Andy Green for minor league players and draft picks. I wouldn't be surprised if the Canadiens do the same thing if they trade off Domi and free agent on my Hampton Beast. He's going to the Hampton Beast in free agency. But you see, I wouldn't be surprised if we do end up trading guys like Tatar, Petrie, who's apparently very attractive to the Carolina. Tatar definitely upping his trade value, could potentially go for a first and a prospect. Kovalchuk definitely should have been traded 2 weeks ago, in my opinion, when his draft stock was way the hell up here. And who else? Thompson is apparently set to go tomorrow or by Monday. I wouldn't be surprised if they work out a trade with him tonight, in my opinion. But I still genuinely think you trade out guys like Thompson, Kovalchuk, Tatar, Petrie. Kovalchuk, you can get in the... It's back to the game. After Chiarot's goal, the Canadiens once again were really dominating the game. The Capitals did not come out to play tonight, except for maybe the start of that first period. The Canadiens really were just not letting the Capitals get anything on them, which is funny because when they got in, they would get multiple shots off in a row pretty much. But for the most part, it was it was in the Capitals zone was the puck. And there was a lot of shots from both sides. In my opinion, just probably one of the most fun games I've seen. Yeah, that's really what all there is to mention for the majority of the periods is just Domi and Drouin got robbed in the first. Lots of shots for both teams. However, puck sticking most of the time in the Canadian zone, or the Capital zone, in my opinion, sorry. And yeah, near the end, though, in the last 5 or so minutes, the Capitals were really starting to push. They were really starting to get the goals. They looked like they were trying to get Ovechkin a shot too much, in my opinion. Like just right here, looking at it, 1917, Ovi got blocked by Armia, 1854, or with a minute 6 left. By scoring, we are friends, James Barry. Absolutely, we're friends, brother. But yeah, in my opinion, it just it didn't seem like it was necessarily that good. That they were trying to get Ovechkin the goal, but it really didn't matter. because scoring is Tom Wilson. Tom Wilson gets his 18th of the year. The assist to Kuznetsov and Backstrom ties it up with 21 seconds left. It looked like there was potentially going to be some review, but then Julian saw that it was Shea Weber who kicks the puck with his stick into his own net for whatever reason. With Shea Weber putting the puck into his own net, technically, Julian decides not to review because he does not want to risk being shorthanded into overtime. That's going to do it for the third period. We're going to overtime, tied 3-3, and in my head I'm thinking, oh God, the Canadiens are going to blow another lead. We're going to lose 6 in a row. We have 2 points in our last 6. Oh God. But not really. The Canadiens are out the bat. They won the faceoff. It was a takeaway by Wilson. Apparently they got a shot on net, but I didn't see it. Oh, yeah. By the way, at the end, the shots at the end of the third were 30-30 apiece. And at the end of the overtime, which doesn't really take long at all, surprisingly, Domi got a shot off, but it went wide. Got it right to Chiarot. Shot. Takes a second. It's in. Ben Chiarot with his second goal of the game. Overall, his 9th this year. He now has 20 points this season. I believe he has set a career high, which is really awesome to see him doing it with the Canadiens. And it's over. The assists on that going to Domi and Petrie. So Petrie for sure upping his trade value now with his 28th assist of the year, overall 37th point of the season. And I'm just going to say the shots at the end were 31-30 because it didn't show me the Caps got another shot off on net. So overall, Canadiens won 4-3. Final shots were 31-30 for the Canadiens. And this was just a thriller of a game, in my opinion. We'd probably be in a playoff spot right now. If we didn't blow a 4-0 lead to the fucking Rangers, we'd be in a playoff spot right now. I digress. If we wouldn't blow all these leads, we'd probably be in a playoff spot right now. But I digress. Why does your stream keep jamming? I have no idea, Randy. It's honestly probably because of the shitty Wi-Fi I have at this place. We're hoping to get better Wi-Fi. We want to get someplace that has, I believe, 3 to 4 megabytes upload a second. So hopefully I'll be able to get that. Who would you say has better defense, Leafs or Oilers? Absolutely the Leafs. The Leafs, they have great prospects like not Timoshov, Liljegren, and it might be Timoshov, but there's another prospect. I forget his name. But they're coming up pretty well, I believe, even though they're in the minors. They still have Barry, Muzzin, Riley, arguably CC, who has his nights, and there's someone else I'm forgetting. Barry, Muzzin, Riley, CC, this is say Timoshov, Liljegren, and there's someone else that, like I said, I forget. But in my opinion, the Leafs have a great top 6 core. Martin Marincin sucks. He sucked with the Oilers. He's not that bad with the Leafs, in my opinion. But yeah, stop being a jealous Oilers fan. Every broadcaster, about 99% of them said this is obvious, from Buffalo all to try to get McDavid and then dissed Eichel when they got him. No, I said Barry, Linebot. I said Barry. Yeah, and Randy, what's the point? Yeah, sure. Every broadcaster said it was obvious that Buffalo Sabres were trying to get McDavid. Yeah, it sucks they dissed Eichel when they got him, but I mean, come on, looking at it, what team wouldn't have wanted to get McDavid that year? Just like how next year, what team wouldn't have wanted to get Matthews? What team wouldn't have wanted to get Dahlin? What team, well, Heischer's year, there wasn't really a set first overall draft pick. Who wouldn't have wanted to get, who went first last year? Who wouldn't want to get Alexis Lafreniere this year? Who wouldn't want to get a Quinn Hughes, or a Jack Hughes, sorry. Who wouldn't want to get a Capo Caco, you know? When you, Buffalo tanking is not the right thing to do, I don't necessarily know if it's not the right thing to do. I just think that certain teams do it better than others in hiding it. Toronto in 15-16? Yeah, 15-16, because that was the year they got Matthews first overall. They weren't tanking. They were just flat out bad. They were losing a lot of games, like, say, 2-1, 3-2, 4-3, 1-0. They were losing games by 1 goal, and they weren't purposely tanking. They were just pretty bad. But with the Sabres, the difference is, yeah, they were purposely tanking, but it worked in the fact they got a second overall draft pick. And the only reason they didn't get Connor McDavid is because the Oilers at the time were always bad. They were god-awful. Now McDavid is saying he's been watching the Oilers play while injury. He said he is glad to be back in Edmonton. Everyone says that when they come back from injury. But yeah, I mean, I guess if he's back to be in Edmonton, I don't know why you'd love to be in Edmonton, but good for him. Yeah, guys, that actually surprisingly went much better than I expected without the notes. I'm definitely going to try and get a new document going for this season. It just absolutely sucks. I lost all of my notes previously. I'll see, like I said, if I can find a way to get good night, cough, cough, Domi. And nah, Domi's going to Minnesota spotlight. Keep dreaming that you guys are going to get a good player like Domi to fit with Draisaitl. Yeah, Domi to Wild. Yeah, and what are we going to get back in return? We're going to get defensive depth. Have the Oilers ever heard of defensive depth? It's when you don't just have two guys on the first line and everyone else is just minor league fodder. And then you actually have depth. That's why the Canadiens have Petrie, Weber, Chiarot, even Kulak, who can step up to a top four. Love the streamline bot you had to do. Randy, and good night, brother. Oilers have depth, and the Oilers have as much depth as the Canadiens have good goaltending. None except aside from one guy named Caden Primo that I'm sure the Oilers would love to get, but they won't because they're poor as shit. What do you think about Vegas? I absolutely love Vegas Linebot. Fire. Indeed. Thank you very much, brother. Love Vegas. They're my second favorite team. Arguably third on some nights behind Toronto. Majority of the time they are absolutely one of my favorite teams in the league. Definitely a big fan of them. Yeah, love Vegas. Yeah. Guys, think I'm gonna get out of here. It has not been 45 minutes. It's been 36. But I do want to get out of here. I definitely do want to work on some videos. Hope you guys liked the Timbits video that I put out earlier today. If you haven't checked it out, please go check it out. We have Archibald, Yamamoto, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, Bouchard, and Neil Yakupov, Neil Yakupov. It was great. Linebot, I'm glad you thought the video was great. First overall draft pick, Neil Yakupov, is part of your depth. Yamamoto, I'd argue, okay. Archibald, meh. Bouchard, he's getting there, I guess. And Nuge, meh. Yakupov was good. First overall draft pick, Neil Yakupov was good. Said with literally no irony at all. Meanwhile, who do the Canadiens have? Tatar, who's a decent, more than likely second line winger, in my opinion. Deneau, who can be a pretty good first line center. Suzuki, who's going to be a first line center. Nolan Patrol is in free agency. Who's Nolan Patrol? Weber, who has been a solid top two defenseman. Armia, who can be a pretty good third line forward. Lehkonen, who can be a pretty good third line forward. Cousins, pretty damn good depth for the fourth line. Kovalchuk, a very, very solid second line winger, in my opinion. Chiarot, pretty good top four defenseman. Jonathan Drouin has the potential to be a very, very solid second liner. Nate Thompson, pretty good fourth liner. I know, but I don't blame Neil. He was a bust, but he's in the KHL. He seems to be getting better, but if he plays again for us, then he will do good. But you guys don't even have his rights. Colorado his rights, I think. Colorado or Minnesota, actually. So if he comes back to the NHL, he's more than likely just going to hit free agency. But I know he's in the KHL. That's the whole reason he left the NHL, was because he kind of wasn't ready. I mean, he really kind of wasn't ready for the NHL. The Oilers brought him up too quickly. If he seems to be getting better, who knows? Maybe he will try and make a return to the NHL, but I don't know. I think Gallagher has more of a chance to return to the NHL, which I'm sure there's going to be one team out there who's like tanking, like say who's a team that Gallagher, say the Rangers, they're going to sign him for say half the season, say next year, or maybe at the deadline if they want to trade, like, hey Gallagher, you want to come back for a season or half season, see what you got, and then play with Gallagher and get him until he's 50 next year, I think. Who knows? But yeah, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. I am probably going to get out of here in just a minute, even though, like I said, we are not at 45 minutes. We're getting very, very close, and I do want to force myself to get out of here around 45 minutes, so I am going to get out of here. Yeah, I guess unfortunately I would say so. Clefbaum is an Oiler for life. He probably might not be if the Oilers keep losing. Thank you guys so much for watching. Oh god, the webcam has been off-centered, it seems. That really sucks. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, favorite, sharing, because it was not limited to YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, and everything else. My name is Harris. Subscribe to my Puff Club, subscribe to my H Club, subscribe to on the sub if you remember the chat, like my good friends, Spotlight Hockey, Randy N, James Berry, and I believe there's one other. Jesse is Dung, of course. Then you are a member of the Mod Squad with the Oilers. Who do you think is going to stay on the team long? Probably McDavid, Draisaitl, Cassian, because he kind of has to. Maybe Clefbaum for a while. Bear, just because he doesn't know any better. And probably Nuge, honestly. Love me some Marc-Andre Fleury as well, Limebot. Greatly love some Marc-Andre Fleury. Yeah, guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, favorite channel. This was not limited to YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, everything else. My name is Harris. Thank you guys so much for watching. Links in the description. Dealer knows